The misperception. The misperception in, well, in believing that happiness is an external factor, yeah? The misperception in believing that happiness is an external factor is natural and it's normal for people who are not connected to personal growth and learning. The misperception that happiness comes from outside is normal, it's natural for people who are not really aware of what's really going on. But although it is normal and natural, it is also extremely dangerous. It is dangerous to believe that happiness is an external factor, because then it makes us believe that joy and love and laughter and exuberance can be derived from something else. Did you get it? I'll say it again. To believe that happiness is an external factor, if I meet this right person, if I'm in the right situation, if I have the right job, then I'll be happy, it's a misperception, and it's natural. But it is also dangerous because it makes us believe that joy can be achieved through something else. But joy cannot be achieved through something else. Joy is already in us and around us. And the only way to perceive it is when we bring value into our experiences. Not otherwise. There is no music in the piano. And there is no music in me. But when I learn the piano correctly, I can create music out of it. Do you understand? It's the confluence of the two coming together correctly. The piano has to be well tuned. I need to have practiced well. Then when I touch the keyboard, music comes out of it. So the music is not really coming from the piano, or neither is it coming just from me. It's coming from the conjunction of the two. Same with life. The happiness is not out there. The happiness is in the way I relate to my experiences. The value I bring into my experiences. Then the value comes out. Not otherwise. Just think, for instance, you go on a holiday, or let's talk of Nicole. When she went there with her knee a little damaged, and she saw this incredible landscape there, magnificent landscape, do you think that the people who live in that area see the same beauty? Very often they have alcohol problems in those areas, in India, in Nepal, all over the place. Alcohol problems, they do wife beating, they have crops to maintain, there are wild animals running around. They don't see the same beauty as you perceived. Maybe they do in glimpses. But again, that beauty will be perceived in its magnificence when you are in touch with your joy. Not when you're having a hard day and when you're difficult and you have diarrhea and you can see the same thing, but you will not register it.
So is there beauty in the external world? Or?
Is there music in the piano?
Yeah.
So stay tuned, I'm coming to it. 1 minute. So the danger, what is the danger in believing that happiness lies in something else out there? What's the danger?
You rely on someone else instead of yourself.
Beautiful. You rely on someone else, and then what happens? What else? Take it one step further.
Then you could be disappointed, upset.
Then you're disappointed and upset when they don't meet your expectations. Very good.
So you've given up your power to be happy.
You've given up your power because you're wanting music to come from the piano. Hello. You have to play it well. Yeah. The danger is also that we get attached to these things which we value. And wherever there is attachment, there will be its opposite. Aversion. Yeah? Dislike, resentment, rage, grief when you lose what you are attached to. Yeah? If you have this hand, you'll have this side and this side both coming together. If you have life, you'll have death. If you have joy in the wrong place, sorrow will be there also. Does it make sense, please? So it's important that we understand that joy is not in people or things. Joy is in us and around us, and it flows into the world and into our experiences from the deepest source of our being when we add value into whatever we perceive, not when we don't add value. Because that same person that you adore, for instance, that same person that you adore, if that person does something which is really nasty towards you, what's going to happen? Difficulties. Then that voice which was so beautiful is no longer beautiful. The touch which was so beautiful is no longer beautiful. The face which was so gorgeous is no longer gorgeous. Things change as your perceptions change. The great moments are with us all the time, but we're not noticing them. And by not noticing the great moments which are all over the place, we place our love and our affection and our whatever into just select people, circumstances, things. But that's really placing all your eggs in one basket. And when that basket drops, suffering comes.
Master B, can I ask how that corresponds with what I've grown up with, that you have a relationship with a particular person, a marriage,
Okay.
that is more important than anything else.
Okay.
So are you saying that it shouldn't be?
That's not the way you were brought up, really. Well, you may have been brought up by what people have said, but what does your religious tradition tell you?
Well, it's to love everyone.
No. Yes, it does say that. But what is the primary requirement? What's the first commandment?
Thou shalt not kill, thou
No, no.
shalt not commit adultery.
No, those are a little later on. Pardon me? Love God with all your heart and all your soul. That is the primary commandment. And you're not paying attention to that. If you love God with all your heart and all your soul, there will be no necessity for adultery or killing or stealing, or you will by default love everything else. And that's what I'm talking about here. To love God with all your heart and all your soul, I'm saying it in other words. Love everything, because it is an aspect of divinity. Don't place all your eggs in one basket. God is everywhere. Learn to identify Him, her, whatever it is, in all things. Then you'll have a happy life. Then you add value into your experiences. Otherwise, you can't. Because to really love someone or something correctly is to nurture that person or thing correctly. But how can you really nurture others if you have not really nurtured yourself? Very difficult.